Oh, I've been counting down the days until this thing arrived. The Panthera Motorsports YZ250 electric start kit. Now, this thing's probably a bigger deal than a lot of you watching at home realise, because what I'm doing here isn't really anything new. People have been turning old YZs into enduro bikes for ages. It's such a solid platform. In fact, that's one of the few things in the entire dirt biking world that's almost unanimously agreed upon. The YZ is a solid base. You just soften up the suspension, smoothen out the engine, and bang, it's a pretty decent enduro bike. But no matter how good it handles, it's never really going to compete with a KTM, because as we learned on our first test, when you go off-road, things get gnarly, and when they get gnarly, you stall the engine. Handful of those later, and the equivalent rider on a KTM is going to be 60 seconds up the track, and you're going to be buggered. But thanks to Panthera, that Austrian ace card is no longer. Now, how the hell do I put it on? I consulted the manual. Alright, in order to make the wiring installation, the motorcycle seat and fuel tank have to be removed. It's even got a tutorial on how to remove your own seat and fuel tank. Okay, we can do that. We can remove the seat and fuel tank. I'm gonna make more progress than I thought I was. I can do this. There were good times. Look at that. No, we're not gonna lose bolts again this time. We're gonna do this properly. And hardships. Oh, that's a bit scary. Petrol goes everywhere if you do this wrong. That's all right, wasn't too bad. But before I knew it, the job was done, and I could move on to step 2. With the Phillips bit, remove the 5 flywheel cover bolts and cover. Remove the original flywheel. Don't know how to do that. Well, those are real easy. Doggedly, I pushed on. I put them in so I know which holes they go in. You know why I did that? What? No reason. There's literally no reason they have to be in the same hole again. Not one of them.
I thought flywheels had spikes on them.
I'll tell you what they don't normally have on them. Rust. I don't even need to be under here. There's no reason for me to be under here. I just want to look like I'm doing something, but I'm stuck. There was only one thing for it. Hey mate, how's things? Yeah, I've got pretty far through it. It's like, I'd say I'm probably halfway through the job. Yeah, I've done most of the hard yards. I just got stuck. Can't figure this next bit out, eh? Could probably do with a bit of help. Are you in town? I've tried everything I know. I've read the instructions. How busy are you today? Nah, it's literally impossible. Look, the bike's in a million pieces, you know. I can't figure it out. I literally, yeah, I hit it with a sledgehammer. Cow shit, I was under the bike and it fell on my face. Look, I've done all the hard yards, mate. I just need a bit of help. How soon can you get here? Come any sooner than that? All right. I'll see you in a bit. All right, bye. Well, that gives me time to kill another couple birds anyway. I've got gorse and all sorts of shit through my knuckles from that last ride because the YZ doesn't have any handguards on it, so we're going to need to order some of those, as well as some protection for the underside of the engine. Normally you'd just get like a sump guard, but I think on this build we can actually do one better than that and get one that extends back over the linkage and allows the bike to slide across logs in that rather than get stuck. I actually had trouble with that on our first ride, and I've never had one of those before, so I've been quite looking forward to this build and actually getting one. Problem is they're quite hard to find in my experience, so while we've got time. Okay, so apparently only 2 companies make such a product for the YZ, and I like the look of this AXP Racing one the best. But the problem is neither company has a distributor in or even ships to New Zealand.
And in the past, that might have been the end of that. But not anymore.
Thanks to our sponsor, Ship-It-To. You see, this sort of thing happens all the time when you live in New Zealand or somewhere similar. What you want either doesn't ship here, is ridiculously expensive to do so, or is just way cheaper in the US and it's like, what the hell? Well, with Ship-It-To, you can just order the package to the US address of their warehouse and they'll send it on to you for a reasonable price. And not only that, but they'll even unbox all the products that you've ordered, show you what's inside so that you can make sure that A, it's right and that B, it's not damaged. And then they'll rebox it all back into one big consolidation for you, saving you even more money still. You can save as much as 80% shipping this way. It's an amazing service, and this build simply wouldn't have been possible without them. So be sure to check those guys out at the link below, and don't forget to use my discount code for a further 15% off your first order. You'd be crazy not to send it with Ship-It-To. Right, bash plate handguards are on the way. Ah, look, just in time for Kynan to start shouting at me.
What are you stuck on? What, you don't know how to use a flywheel puller? You've never heard of YouTube?
It was a rocky start. But fortunately, I pretty quickly justified the decision to call for help.
Just threw it in. Righty, loosey, lefty, tighty.
Oh, is it?
You gotta make another rhyme.
I would have been there for 3 hours.
As long as that's as far as it wants to go. Bring that and then just give her a bump with the impact and then it should just pop it off. So. There you go.
That's it.
It's off, so you should just be able to pull the whole thing.
I'll be damned.
It's a little low, small.
That easy, huh? Oh, I didn't need you.
Well, you did
Wow.
tell you to go the wrong way, but...
With Master Shifu in town, progress was finally being made. But I'd already cost us so much time with my earlier incompetence that we simply weren't going to be able to get this thing done by the end of the day. There were really only 2 things for it.
What's going on here, Ash?
Backflip. Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Not better for me.
Oh, you get sucked in.
Oh, that's the battery holder, of course.
Yeah.
And I suppose there's a handlebar loom as well, isn't there?
Yeah, that's what this is.
Ah, yeah, okay.
This isn't a brand new motorcycle. Things probably aren't that straight, and
feel
this is
like
an
ours is-
aftermarket part.
oh, no, it is
so
the
it's
same.
probably not exactly perfect on every bike, so that's
So it mounts up under.
Everyone else is doing the cool things. And I'm just cleaning.
It's probably that one.
As it turned out, there was good reason for that.
Get under it.
Yep.
Pretty tight. Old Ash doesn't screw around with his plastic bolts.
Make sure they don't fly off.
In the next 30 years.
I was taking a lot of abuse.
Oh, look at that.
Because when you got a bit later on it.
But you know what they say about karma.
Don't worry, next time we come Okay.
Straight on.
Whacked him.
Right on the tip of the bone.
Clearly the workshop environment was souring. And perhaps it was this that sent 3 generations worth of Sowman childhood PTSD boiling to the surface.
Hold the torch, boy. Move it round. You've got it in the wrong place.
Yeah, well,
Oh, you're not helping anymore.
Yeah, but that reminds me of my childhood too, Dad. It's the Sowman tradition.
And I sat there and said nothing.
And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse,
It's got Red Bull KTM on the battery there. Oh no, awkward. That's a bit awkward.
but like an angel from heaven, dear old Grandad swooped down and, well, couldn't get back up again.
Hang on.
You don't pull his arm out of his shoulder.
Thanks, Ash. And he's trying to pull up and that.
Which brought us all back together somewhat.
We're looking for a hex screw.
And reinvigorated, even I started to get done.
Trying to figure out how to fit this without having to drain the coolant out of the bike. I just needed a cable to go around this radiator hose down the bottom here, but it's a bloody tight gap. Oh, no, I've got it. Yeah, it's got this cable through an impossible gap, which is good. Now it means we don't have to drain the coolant.
Just in time as well, because we were in to the business end of the job now. With the original flywheel out, new stator in, and battery installed, it was just a matter of bolting the remaining beautifully machined parts into the side of the engine.
That's it. All bananas.
But then we were subjected to a noise that no one ever wants to hear. And sadly, that was followed almost immediately by quite possibly the only noise worse in this moment.
Okay. Oh, I'm scared. Is it ready to start?
Theory that should have turned over, so.
Well, it's got no fuel. Oh, doesn't matter. Does that just mean it's not got enough charge? It's not in gear, is it?
No. It's earthed. Something isn't gone wrong. Let's check it. Wants to turn. Ah,
Not good?
not good. Got that gear case off.
Oh.
That's really good. What if you had these in a row? See if it turns over.
What do you want me to do?
Just,
Yeah, okay.
those must have been jammed up.
Yeah,
So just make sure they're good when you put them on.
this is what you get for leaving Ash in charge of anything.
Watching, but looked like you got it.
And if I was able to completely jam the entire motor by just misplacing one of those tiny little gears slightly, how difficult must have this whole thing been to make?
Doing it, I've realized why nobody was doing it, because these are big piston to move. It's people don't kind of realize that, but two strokes almost harder than the four stroke to crank, because the four stroke has, you know, free revolution to just gather speed, where the two stroke just has compression every single turn. And we know people with enduro bikes want, you know, fans and sometimes lights, and we needed to recharge the battery as well. So we had to come up with a new stator, a new flywheel package to produce in the more area of the 90 watts, 100 watt, and that's been quite an adventure. It was hundreds of prototypes of windings, of stators. The YZ250 is a really high voltage type of CDI box in ignition. It's low amp and very high voltage. And the original flywheel in the YZ has super light, super weak magnets. But since we wanted to produce some wattage for lights and fans, we had to produce a strong flywheel that would not overheat the stator. And so quite an adventure. We've packaged a pretty slick one-way gear with torque limiter gear, all the nice component in there that we're allowing that if anything happened, kickbacks, over torque, never a gear is going to break in the assembly. And yeah, at the end of the day, we found a place to put the battery inside the airbox in a configuration that's just good enough so you can access the air filter. And yeah, we've sent that product to market after that, and we were really happy with the result.
How good is that? Starting low. Ready? Oh, what was that? Oh, mud. How good is that?
That's pretty cool. I can ride it, eh?
Yeah, now kind of can start it. That fires it up so easy, eh? It's not even close to not wanting it. Oh, I'm stoked with that.
Pretty cool.